Good afternoon and welcome to Goodwill Amity's 15th Annual Power of Work Awards. My name is Kelly Duffin and I'm the President and CEO of Goodwill Amity. It's a pleasure to have you with us today. We're coming to you from Goodwill's iconic building located in the Beasley neighborhood in beautiful Hamilton, Ontario. We would like to take a moment to recognize that the City of Hamilton is situated upon the traditional territories of the Erie, Neutral, Huron-Wendat, Haudenosaunee, and Mississaugas. This land is covered by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Belt Covenant, which was an agreement between the Haudenosaunee and Anishinaabeg to share and care for the resources around the Great Lakes. We further acknowledge that this land is covered by the Between the Lakes Purchase of 1792 between the Crown and the Mississaugas of the First Credit Nation. Today, the City of Hamilton is home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Island, North America, and we recognize that we must do more to learn about the rich history of this land so that we can better understand our roles as residents, neighbors, partners, and caretakers. It's still not safe to have large in-person gatherings, so we're together virtually again this year. Now that we have mastered meeting online, you'll notice we've gone ahead and muted everyone's microphone, but feel free to spread the word through social media. Our handle on all platforms is @Goodwill Amity. Since our last awards evening, a lot has happened at Goodwill Amity. We were very proud to be awarded the Nonprofit of the Year Award by the Hamilton Chamber of Commerce and their jury. Also this year, we earned CARF accreditation. Like ISO accreditations for business, CARF is a comprehensive third-party audit that affirms certified organizations are guided by internationally recognized service standards and best practices. So we had a lot to celebrate, but it has not been an easy year for anyone. We revamped our usual services and launched new ones to help in new ways. Employment services went virtual, then in person, then hybrid. We transitioned our cafe and catering division, called Stairways, away from our eat-in and delivery model to providing individual prepared meals for those experiencing food insecurity at this time. Since the summer of 2020, we have provided over 50,000 meals. The climate crisis is also top of mind, and in our retail operations, we are leaders in the circular and sustainable economy. We enable our communities to reduce the purchase and therefore the production of new goods, which is meaningful because fashion manufacturing is exceedingly harmful to the environment. We enable our communities to reuse clothing and household goods, and we recycle what we don't sell. Those efforts made possible the reuse or recycling of 4.65 million pounds of goods last year. And on that note, I must say, as I often do, I'm wearing Goodwill. But above all, given our focus on the labor market, we are also acutely aware and see firsthand the disproportionate impact of COVID on already marginalized communities. Black Lives Matter, Truth and Reconciliation, and the She Session call on us all to create an equitable and inclusive recovery. We are mindful of this even while our goal tonight is to celebrate. Our winners achieved success during a global pandemic, and they deserve to be celebrated. And don't we all need a few reasons to cheer? So on with the show. It's now my pleasure to introduce my co-host, Andrea Donlan, Chair of Goodwill Amity's Board of Directors.
Thanks, Kelly, and good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the Board of Directors and staff of Goodwill Amity, it's my pleasure to welcome you to our 15th Annual Power of Work Awards. This is our chance to celebrate those who made an outstanding effort to achieve their personal and professional goals through the power of work. Work plays a powerful role in people's lives and our collective ability to thrive. For individuals, work gives a sense of purpose and confidence. For some, it means they're pursuing the career they trained for and dreamed of after arriving from another country, or after losing a job they had for over 30 years. Work can give an individual with a disability the skills to pursue employment or launch youth from school to work. For others, a job means food security, a place to live, independence, and maybe even swimming lessons for their kids. A job can truly break the cycle of poverty. For employers, finding talent is critical to achieving their business objectives, and Goodwill can help employers tap a hidden talent pool, from internationally trained engineers to skilled tradespeople to part-time retail staff. Employment is also a key measure of our country's economic health. While everyone's journey to finding meaningful work is unique, Goodwill is grateful to support job seekers in achieving their goals. Today, we will be honoring the Achiever of the Year, Success Story of the Year, and our Business Partner of the Year. As you hear about each of their journeys, I know you will be as inspired as I am by their determination, commitment, and success. Now, before we get to the awards, I would like to take a moment to thank our sponsors for this event. Our presenting sponsor, RBC, has been a longtime supporter and financial partner of Goodwill Amity. We are both driven by the same interests and commitment to helping communities thrive.
Here's an idea. RBC is investing $500 million over 10 years in Sarah, Ben, Yuki, Samir, and millions of young people just like you, so you'll have the skills, connections, work experience, and mental well-being support for the jobs of today and tomorrow. RBC Future Launch, empowering youth for the jobs of today and tomorrow.
Carmela Trombetta, Vice President, Hamilton Commercial Financial Services, understands the power of work and what it means to our community.
Thank you, Andrea, for that kind introduction. It's such a pleasure to be here on behalf of RBC for Goodwill Amity's 15th Annual Power of Work Awards. My name is Carmela Trombetta, and I'm the proud Vice President of Commercial Financial Services for the Greater Hamilton market. This is such an important event where we all come together, even virtually, to realize and recognize the accomplishments of individuals who face barriers to employment and those organizations who have championed meaningful work opportunities for them. The future of work is changing, and now more than ever, Canada's job market is changing, and it's taking its toll on young Canadians, those who face traditional barriers and those who don't. Even though the young are optimistic, they are increasingly feeling uncertain about their future and still face four main barriers to success: a lack of relevant work experience, a lack of relevant skills, a lack of professional networks, and insufficient access to mental well-being supports and services. As future leaders of our country, we have the responsibility to help prepare them for the unprecedented economic and technological changes that are taking place in the world today. And at RBC, it is our commitment to help prepare young people for jobs of the future, and we call it RBC Future Launch. I'm proud to say that since 2017, 2.5 million youth across Canada have been reached through an RBC Future Launch supported program, and 74% of the youth surveyed reported feeling better about their future. Our partnership with Goodwill Amity is deeply rooted in our collective desire to help support young people and find ways to eliminate barriers as they prepare for the workforce. Programs like those offered by Goodwill Amity are so important because they give young people the tools and support they need to succeed, which will help make our community even stronger. I want to express my sincere congratulations to everyone who is being recognized tonight. You should be proud of your resilience, your strength, and determination. Congratulations to you, Kelly, and the entire team at the Goodwill Amity, including the board. The impact you are having on this community is immeasurable, and I know we are all grateful for your help, for your efforts in helping build a strong and productive workforce. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you, Carmela, for all of your support, and sincere thanks to RBC for their investment in our region. Special thank you as well to our leading sponsors, CCXIT, Simpson Weigel, and SKP Trading. We are grateful for their investment in our mission, as well as our sponsors you see here on the screen.
Yes, our sincere thanks to all our sponsors. I would now like to take a moment to recognize Andrea for her work as board chair, along with our board of directors, Glenn Norton, Martha Fox, Courtney Oliver, David Rathbun, Vitas Vaikunas, Indira Naidu-Harris, along with Andrea, who make up our outstanding board. These individuals provide the strategic leadership, guidance, and governance that make our mission possible. And certainly, we've tapped into that guidance more than ever over the last 20 months of the pandemic. Our directors give their time as volunteers, and we are profoundly grateful for their service. During today's awards event, we will honor 2 exceptional clients of Goodwill and 1 exceptional employer partner, identified through our employment services relationships. As you know, that's what Goodwill is all about, employment services, which help people enter or re-enter the workforce. We provide individual counseling, resume support, job search assistance, outreach to employers, and work skill development, among other things. With employers, we work to understand their hiring needs and help them find the candidates who will meet their operational objectives. Despite the necessary restrictions during the COVID pandemic, this year, Goodwill still delivered pre-employment workshops to over 1,422 job seekers, assisted 817 people in their own job searches, and placed 404 people in jobs. Indeed, Goodwills across Ontario place someone in employment every 46 minutes. When placed, our job-seeking clients earned an average starting wage that was a living wage and 19% higher than minimum. They also worked an average of 33.3 hours per week, with the majority working full-time. We are very proud of these impacts. But tonight, we are not celebrating Goodwill's success. We're celebrating the success of our winners.
That's right, Kelly. And we're going to have a little bit of fun while we're at it, too. Can you think back to your very first job and what you learned from it?
Absolutely. I had a newspaper route, complete with early mornings and cold winters. I guess I learned not to be deterred and the value of having my own money. How about you, Andrea?
Well, if I think way back to when I had my first job at 15, I worked at an Italian restaurant and I was a waitress. And as the only server on staff, I learned pretty quickly the importance of great customer service and time management. Over the past few weeks, we've posed the exact same question to 7 leaders across Hamilton and Halton, and tonight I'll be sharing their answers with you. First, we'll hear from the Honourable Anita Anand, who was recently re-elected as Oakville's Member of Parliament. As you know, she served as Canada's Minister of Public Services and Procurement since being elected in 2019. And in that role, she led Canada through the COVID-19 pandemic, through the procurement of all of our vaccines, as well as medical and personal protective equipment. For that, we all thank you. But of course, Minister Anand had a successful career before becoming an MP, and before that, she had a first job too.
Hi, my name's Anita Anand. My first job was as a paper carrier, delivering newspapers early in the mornings when I was in grade 8. And I learned so much from that job. I learned that I need to be responsible and get up early every day and make sure that I fulfill my commitments to all of the people in the neighborhood who were reading the paper, but also to my employer that was the newspaper publisher itself. I'll just say that I have carried those lessons of responsibility and commitment with me through my whole entire life. And I'd just like to give a shout out to all the winners here today, as well as to Goodwill Amity for your incredible work in our community. Thanks so much, everyone. Bye-bye.
Let me take a moment to congratulate you, Minister, on your appointment as Minister of National Defence announced this morning. Maybe that first job set you up to embrace challenges. Now back to the show.
And now, let's kick off the awards. First, we will honor our Achiever of the Year. This award is presented to an individual who has made outstanding progress in overcoming barriers to employment or in pursuing education and skill development towards their employment goals. This year's award winner is Ryan Rohr. Let's watch Ryan's story now.
My name is Ryan. I participated in the Goodwill YJC programs and their Pathway program. I had a pretty bad mental breakdown when I just got out of high school. That end result was I had about 6 years of pretty much nothing going on. The end result is obviously I didn't have any real job experience, no real volunteer experience. So Goodwill helping me through that just to get me something on my resume was helpful. I wanted my driver's license, and that turned into, well, I'm gonna go to therapy, and then that turned into, well, I need to get a job, well, then I need to go volunteer somewhere. And that turned into, let's go to Goodwill or something and figure out, you know, where can I go?
So Ryan participated in the Pathways to Employment program. He had completed 150 hours of employment skills training that was spread out through 5 weeks. He would attend from Monday to Friday and had successfully completed standard level first aid and CPR training. After Ryan had successfully completed his 5 weeks of training, he had actually secured a job opportunity before the completion of his hours, worked unbelievably hard to make sure he had completed the full 150 hours before he started his employment opportunity.
I got a job as a line cook and a job as a cashier / kitchen prep. And what I learned is I like working with people. I learned I like cooking. Well, right now I'm continuing my high school education, and it was like one of the biggest things for me. It was like, do I want to start my education? Do I want to get a job? I was like, well, let's do a job because, you know, I need money to survive. But now it's a matter of, well, I can do both.
I nominated Ryan for Achiever of the Year due to the multiple complex barriers that he faced in both his personal and professional life. Ryan has taken the initiative to take care of himself and grow as a human being, grow as an adult in the working world, make something of himself and kind of come back and contribute to society or be able to contribute to others. Ryan's new level of confidence really embodies the purpose of what we do here at Goodwill in assisting our clients in overcoming barriers to achieve a successful outcome.
Probably the biggest thing I've learned throughout my life is it's not going to work unless I want it. And I've realized that I want a lot for myself. And I've realized that at this point, the only barrier to that is myself. And that's less of a barrier as time goes on, more and more and more and more. It just feels so good that it's like, okay, now I can actually do this. I can do this. It won't be that hard.
Sincere congratulations, Ryan. Before we get to our next award, let's hear from someone else you will recognize and learn about their first job. Mayor, on top of the usual demands of your office, you have led Hamilton throughout the pandemic. I was pleased to serve on the cross-sectoral task force for economic recovery that you assembled, and I know council and staff also worked tirelessly. Thank you for your leadership. Now let's see what Mayor Eisenberger's first job was.
My first job was on a bike delivering fish and chips for Parkdale Fish and Chips in the east end of the city of Hamilton. It was an opportunity. It was DoorDash, long before DoorDash existed, numbers of years ago. And certainly one of the lessons I learned, and I got a tip from one of our customers that I had been so speedy and quick that they gave me a 50-cent piece. It actually turned out to be a 1919 50-cent piece, which I still have to this day, which is my kind of biggest tip ever. I don't think I've ever worked in a space where I got these kind of tips, but this was the one occasion where I did. And for me, it was a great opportunity to be reminded that hard work and due diligence and making sure you're timely does have its rewards.
We have another one for you. Let me introduce you to Paula Castano, Employment Specialist at Halton Multicultural Council. I'm sure you agree that Paula's role and the role of HMCC has been more critical than ever in the last 20 months, as newcomers and racialized individuals have been disproportionately impacted by COVID and disproportionately on the front lines of getting us through this all. Let's see what Paula's first job was.
My first job was a customer service representative with a telecommunications company. So I was actually physically in an office dealing with customers. I learned really valuable lessons. The first thing I learned is the importance of listening to people. Everyone comes with a history. Everyone comes with different values, concerns, and experiences. So taking the time to listen to them helps a lot in delivering the right solution. The next thing I learned is to be patient and to be creative, approaching things in different ways, finding different ways of passing the message. So there is no one size fits all when it comes to dealing with human beings. And that's something that I remind myself every single day until now. And the final thing I would highlight is the importance of showing empathy and respect. There is no perfect product, there is no perfect service. But when you realize that the client has their concerns, you can build a rapport to solve better the issue or to give them options. So those, I would say, are the three things I learned from my first job.
Wow, I feel like we know you better now, Mayor Eisenberger and Paula. Now let's recognize our success story of the year.
In our TEAM program, which stands for Transitional Employment and Mentoring, Goodwill provides hands-on training working in our own social enterprise and in simulated environments to develop work-related skills and experience. We also work with clients to identify their long-term goals and the short-term milestones they want to achieve on that path. Goals can include employment, recreation, or volunteerism. The Success Story of the Year award goes to an individual from our TEAM program. Let's watch Shannon's story.
My name is Shannon Duvall. I first went to Goodwill Career Center to ask for help with a resume. I had not been in the workforce for over 20 years, so I know that the procedures on how to get a job are much different. I took their courses, became part of their TEAM program, and I got a job from there. What I did as part of the TEAM program, I did administration work. I answered the phones, I logged in visitors, typical office work, that type of thing. After you do your job search, they would always do a mock interview. The mock interviews are great because it does prepare you a lot for that specific interview. I've updated all my skills because things have changed a lot in 20 years. Resume writing and cover letters, right from start to finish. How to deal with one-on-one and interviews because I have social anxiety. How to sell myself, which was a big thing. What's changed for me? I have better relationships with people. I feel better about myself, therefore I'm a happier person. Medically, it's done things for me as well. I'm not laying around. I get a little bit more exercise now. It helps financially as well, so that's a perk as well. To anyone that's looking for help, give Goodwill a try. They'll teach you a lot more and they'll give you a lot more than you ever expected to get from the beginning. And I just started out with asking for help for a resume, and it ended up with me getting a job twice. It just makes me feel good, which makes me lead a better life, a happier life.
Congratulations, Shannon. Our next guest is Monty McNaughton, MPP and Minister of Labour, Training and Skills Development, or MLTSD. MLTSD is our primary funder of employment services, and I have to say they have been outstanding partners during the pandemic. Flexible, supportive, and focused as we are on supporting job seekers and employers in unprecedented times. We thank you for that, Minister. Okay, let's see what Minister McNaughton's first job was.
My very first job was working in our family's home hardware store back in Newbury. I remember going in after schools and on Saturdays to work. It really taught me, how to stick to a schedule, how to show up on time. I began in the store at a very young age, stocking shelves, sweeping floors, cleaning the washrooms. But it really taught me just how to show up on time, how to talk to customers, those soft skills that are so important in life.
We have another one for you. Let me introduce you to Anne-Marie Guillaume, Human Resource Business Partner at Gay Leaf Foods, a leading employer in our region. Anne-Marie has been a dedicated employer partner of Goodwill with our Skills Advance Ontario food manufacturing program. She works hard to ensure that a candidate is the right fit for the position she offers them, and she's also provided translators for onboarding at Gailey whenever necessary. Thank you for working to help break down employment barriers and giving our clients a hand up, Anne-Marie. Now let's see what Anne-Marie's first job was.
My first job was as an HR assistant. I got a phone call for a 2-month contract through a temporary agency for an HR assistant job, and I wasn't doing anything at the time, so I thought any experience is good experience, so I did take on the experience. I worked there for 2 months, and 2 months ended up being actually 7 years of full-time, amazing opportunity and just foundational for my HR career. So if there's one thing that I want to relay to everybody, it is never scoff at an opportunity. If you're going to be at home and not doing anything and you get a 2-month contract, a 1-month contract, whatever it is, even if it's outside of your field, take it and go with it and give it your all, because you never know where it might lead you.
Great stuff, Minister McNaughton and Anne-Marie. Now on to our Business Partner of the Year award.
Employers are critical partners, and we see ourselves as serving them as much as we serve our individual job seekers. We also know our job seekers are especially grateful for the employers who are willing to give them a chance, offer some support and training, and work with them to help develop and advance their skills. Goodwill's founder had a motto, a hand up, not a handout. And these employers do just that by giving everyone a chance to succeed. This year, our Business Partner of the Year is awarded to Wendy's Restaurants. Let's watch their story.
My name is Brenda Dory, and I've worked for Wendy's for 20 years, and I'm the general manager at this store. So I'm in charge of hiring, training. We're a phase store, which means that we train managers and employees, and then we send them out to other stores. Our founder was Dave Thomas. He just says, do it right, and it'll keep the customers coming back. And this store started at $0, and now we're one of the top stores. We're in second place to one of our stores that is currently 24 years old. So in 3 years, we've gained all that recognition, and I've won lots of awards here because we keep breaking sales records. So we became acquainted with Goodwill purely accidental. I hired somebody, and Goodwill got hold of me and told me they wanted to meet with me because this fellow was one of their clients. So they came over and they offered me subsidy for his training. When we opened this store, all my employees were from Goodwill. They offered me one of their conference room. They set it up for me, and we did all our orientations at once. We had 25 employees go to Goodwill that day, and they were fantastic. They had big screens and everything. Out of the 25 that I hired from Goodwill, I still have 10 that were my original hires from when we first opened, and that's good. The Goodwill employees that I have hired initially is helping me with my phase because they're now trainers. Some of them are crew leaders. So a crew leader is somebody that trains the employees. So that frees me up and I can focus on the managers. The advantage to working with Goodwill in the recruiting part, they've already made sure that they've got their WMIS and whatever else that we need coming into the business. So it cuts my training down a little bit because I know that they've already been screened.
Wendy's has won the Business Partner of the Year award because over the last several years, Wendy's has definitely proven to value their diverse work environment. There have been a couple of our clients who had physical challenges or had no work experience whatsoever, and Brenda at Wendy's was amazing at offering that opportunity and additional accommodations to that individual.
So I would advise anyone who's hiring to give Goodwill a chance. The funding helps with the training and takes the burden off your labor, as every business has a labor that needs to be met. It was one of the best things that happened to our business. There is nothing better than watching a new employee blossom and become part of your team.
Congratulations, Brenda and Wendy's. Wow, some powerful and inspiring stories from our winners today. All right, we have 2 more leaders who are sharing their first jobs with us, starting with Renee Wetzelaar, Executive Director at St. Matthew's House in Hamilton. St. Matthew's House is a relatively new partner for us at Goodwill. Throughout the pandemic, we've worked with Renee and St. Matthew's Street Outreach Program to provide individual prepared meals to our neighbors in need. Let's see what Renee's first job was.
Well, my first job, really, when I think about it, that had the most impact on me was when I was hired to clean the doctor's office. And you would think, why would a job like that have such an impact on someone who's now working in social services as an executive director? What I learned from that job is that, you learn how to clean the toilets when you're a cleaning person. And in all the work I've done since then in the not-for-profit world, I have never left that task behind. And I've always had to clean the toilets no matter what. And I hold myself in a way as a leader who believes that no matter what your title is, you should always be responsible for all the work, no matter what you do.
We have one more for you. This is Keenan Loomis, President and CEO of the Hamilton Chamber of Commerce. Goodwill won the Chamber's Nonprofit of the Year award this year, so it seems fitting to have them with us this afternoon. I also want to acknowledge Keenan and all chambers for the innumerable pivots they made during COVID, many very innovative, to continue to represent the interests of business, employers, and the economy when their support was needed more than ever. Now let's see what Keenan's first job was.
My first job was earlier than most. As a 12-year-old, I started umpiring baseball games. I loved baseball. The sport was amazing. And I started earning like 20 bucks a game. Could earn a lot on a weekend at a tournament. And the big thing for me was, I think it helped me develop my objectivity, because a strike's a strike, a ball's a ball, that sort of thing. I think it really was contributing to me ultimately going on to law school and clerking for a judge. They are the umpires of the legal world. It also taught me how to manage a game. One of the things is you got to be really emphatic with your calls, because otherwise people aren't going to believe you. Even if you're wrong, you are emphatic about it. And then for the most part, people won't grouse. But managing a game with parents, that was ultimately, I think, the thing I learned the most. Parents can be the worst, as you can imagine. I think I developed a really good rapport with parents. And again, it was because of my way of managing and being emphatic about my calls that ultimately I think I won their respect.
Thank you, Renee and Keenan. Wow, some real lessons in those first jobs tonight, eh? And now back to the show to close. Thanks to everyone for joining us this afternoon. I hope our winners' stories have given you a fuller sense of Goodwill's mission in action. Winners, you exemplify the power of work and the powerful connection between employees and employers. Thank you and congratulations. Our community leaders' stories also illustrate the power of work and the path that a first job, a first chance, can create throughout our lives. Thank you to our leaders who shared their first work experiences with us. Looks like those first jobs all paid off. We would not be here today without the support of our generous sponsors, especially our presenting sponsor, RBC. Thank you for being such wonderful business partners. Goodwill staff, I want to thank you for accompanying all our clients, individuals and employers, on their journeys. You make a difference in people's lives every day. Thanks to the staff team who put this together, especially our Vice President of Employment Services, Tracy Cunning, and Shelley Kuzma, Director of Community Engagement and Partnerships. In addition, thanks to Stacy Lambert of Greening Marketing for the expert event and video support, and to our marketing firm, Dyer & Duman, who make everything look so good. I also want to take a moment to applaud our politicians and their staff, businesses, our colleagues in the not-for-profit sector, and of course, our medical professionals and frontline workers for all they have done to keep us safe over the last 2 years. We appreciate you. Last but not least, my thanks to Andrea for helping in presenting our awards this afternoon.
Kelly, it was so great to join you this afternoon. Congratulations again to Ryan, Shannon, and Wendy's Restaurants on your awards. Thanks for watching, everyone. We hope you had a lot of fun, and we hope to see you in person again soon. Enjoy your evening.